Ba, 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 ba. Okay. Just checking. Okay. We're logged in on YouTube. Let's go log in over at Twitch. And hopefully that's all of our Twitch friends brought on board as well. Just check. Those of you that have been here before will know. Just take a minute to check everything's logged in. So I think we're okay on YouTube. And there goes Twitch as well. Excellent. So, people on YouTube, hello. People on Twitch, hello. Apologise for making a noise with my kettle over there, just to get the water boiling. Just going to hang on a second. Wait for that to finish. Weird. Okay. Let's get cracking. Tell that to shut up. So evening all those that have joined us, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Twitch, it's all good. What am I doing today? Well, if you haven't read the description properly, we're doing Pierre White's macaroni cheese. He's made a version of this on his BBC Maestro series, which I have talked about before. His group of restaurants, MPW restaurants, have released a series of recipes for the summer called Family Circle, which reminds me of a tub of biscuits, but that's by the by. And I thought it might be fun to do them. And they're available on the Marco Pierre website, and if you're subscribed to the mailing list, I'm going to chuck something in chat that I hope is going to work, something new for me. That sends that there, That's not the link I was hoping for. Anyway, it's the link there. Hopefully you should see that on both chats. That is the link to the recipe we're doing today. And you read it and you think, well, it's just a macaroni cheese recipe. And it is, you know, there's nothing too crazy, but a couple of things I think are interesting. First, you might think, well, it's just some recipe that's been, you know, lifted off of some other website and they're just using. But there's a couple of hints in there that it might actually come from Marco. One of them is that it calls for a vegetable stock pot. You know, those famous ingredients that he shilled for Knorr, just putting that back on screen, that he shilled for Knorr and put on there. One of these. Cheese. And this is a sort of variation on this one. So yeah, a vegetable stock pot tells me this is a Marco recipe. There's another thing in the recipe that says, so I just get the right screen up. It says you make a bechamel, a white sauce, and then at the end it says pass it through a chinoise, as in a fine conical sieve. Marco loves a chinoise. He mentions it in so many recipes. Very specific. He doesn't say put it through a sieve or whatever. He actually says pass it through a chinoise. So I think it might actually be a Marco recipe and not just something that comes from, you know, just the restaurant. So let me flick that on. There we go. So you can see the ingredients there, plus my keyboard. Quite straightforward. If you haven't looked at the link in the chat, we've got some macaroni, cheeses, a hard cheese and a mozzarella. I'm using ready grated today just for simplicity. Some cream and milk, flour, vegetable stock pot. I've got a couple of other, and there's a few other bits and bobs for finishing, but I've got a few other things I'm going to add to it, because as nice as a macaroni cheese is, it doesn't feel like a complete meal to me, so I'm going to do some real store-cupboard basic stuff just to add something to it. So what I'm going to start with, I'm going to start by getting my roux and my bechamel on. So I'm just going to turn that off for a second, and then we'll swap all the screens around once I've had a little move about. Let's get that out of the way. because they'll come in later. The other thing that really tells me this is a restaurant dish is, again, on that link, that PDF I've linked you to, it says it's got things like bechamel makes 5 portions and it calls for 42 grams of unsalted butter, 33 grams of plain flour. Really specific measurements that are clearly converted down from the restaurant manual, I would guess. I thought that was really funny. 83 millilitres of double cream. Put 84 in, it's ruined. But 83 mil of double cream. So we're going to make a standard roux that is butter and flour together. Just cook that through, season it, and then add the milk, which reminds me I need another pan. I've just got to get that on. Are you finished? No? Okay. Let's get... Somebody's already used the pan I wanted to use. So there. Hibby says the stock pots are a no-go. Send samples of our products, what we specialise in. My old pal Happy Hungry Hibby, great channel by the way, full of food reviews, full of ingredient reviews, cookbook reviews, all coming from his kitchen. Plus you get to see his little dog as well, he's very cute. I know he works in the food ingredients industry. But yes, today a Knorr stock pot, because that's what Marco would use. That's all I can say there. So let's pop him on. He says that I've been told Marco visited our site and used our products, but that was before you joined. Well, there you go. So we're going to add a really precise amount of flour. How much was it again? 33 grams of flour. That's not a lot. It's a tiny amount of flour. So my scale say 35, but you know what? You only live once. Look, a tiny amount of flour, I'd say 2 tablespoons maybe? I'm not going to bother measuring it, but it's that sort of thing. And then I've just remembered I need to get the milk on, because that's going to simmer away in the background. I'd usually use another pan, but somebody must have used it at lunchtime and it's still in the dishwasher, so I'm waiting for that to finish. So let's get the milk on. 830 ml of milk. Very specific again. We're going to use the Marco measurements. See where we end up. I should also add I've got the oven on, because we're going to bake it later on. This is not ideal, by the way, using one of these pans, but it's all I've got. I didn't realise people had used mine at lunchtime, and therefore it's still in the wash. $831 grams. I think memory serves. Yes, 1 gram over. So completely ruined now. And to that we add our stock pot. Hibby asks, has this recipe been covered on the BBC Maestro series? So he has a recipe. I'm just going to get this on the heat, tick away while we do other things. Let's bring that up a little bit more. So he does have a recipe for macaroni cheese, or penne, whatever, in a white sauce, I think. He combines it with a bolognese. So he has a bolognese and then the macaroni cheese on top. Really rich, indulgent dish, a lot of fun. But not this one. This one's specifically from his restaurant groups, designed for families. If you missed the thing at the very top, I'm making his one that come from his family section of his website. Not sponsored, I should add. I just got the email. I thought it was fun. And we had such a good time last week in our live, I wanted to go do it again. Right. I don't know what I'm thinking. I was busy chatting and I wasn't concentrating. We need our butter, so that's 42 grams of butter. How much? 42, spot on. You can't quite see it there, but yeah, promise you that's a pretty accurate bit of blobbing. So standard white sauce here. We're just going to make a roux. I'll sort that camera out in just a second once we're cooking along. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, nice gentle heat. What should we do with you? We might need you in a minute. So we'll put you on there. Let's bring that over. Yes, Hibby, look it up. It's on the... Yeah, it's in the main cookery course that Marco does. The main cookery course. Straight after the ragu bolognese. Let's just adjust my camera a bit, make it a bit more interesting. Have a proper look what's going on. There we go, you see all the mess I've made over there as well. Don't think I need my grater today. Woo. Right, I'm going to try something else. Been messing about with some stuff. Oh, Paco Fung. I'm just gonna... I was just trying that. I hope you all heard that out there. A bit of fun. Set up some voice commands. Paco Fung, first time tuning in, enjoying your videos. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Paco. Good to see you. Hope you're having fun out there. Out in YouTube land. And I don't go live that often, but I feel like, I just feel like I want to at the moment. It's good fun, it's good to connect to the audience, have a proper chat. You know, you can ask questions, you can talk, tell me about things you're enjoying, tell me what you're up to. Parker, whereabouts in the world are you? You don't need to dox yourself, you can limit it to country, that's absolutely fine. Just waiting for this butter to melt. I'm going to stir in the flour. Okay, just while that melts, I'm going to get the rest of, I'm going to get my pasta on to boil behind me. You don't really need to see me boil pasta, it's terribly unexciting. How much pasta does it recommend? I'm just going to go with all the recommendations because I think that will be fun. I'm going to use it exactly as described. Studying in Australia. Okay, interesting. So I'm just going to boil out some water there. My butter's melted, so we're going to work in the flour now. Well done with multitasking. Yeah, you know, when you're at home, Hibby, as you know, when you're cooking, it's fine. But when you've got to remember to talk to people at the same time, that's when it gets tricky. And I think my Nightbot has gone a bit mad. It's asking a lot of questions. Never mind. You know, when you're a one-man band like I am, you've got to get in these bots and things to help you out, automate some services. Isn't that right? Thank you. Yes, it'd be a good recipe for students. Rani Talmor, second time catching a stream. Yes, I remember you last week. Welcome back. Very good. If you missed it, I'm just making a macaroni cheese as per Marco Pierre White's website. So that's ready to go. So Stir in the salt and pepper. So I'm not going to measure salt and pepper that much. That much. White pepper, of course. Marco insists white pepper. That's another clue that I think it is actually a Marco recipe. And we're now going to add in some of this milk. Milk, which, again, if you missed it, has got a vegetable stock pot blended into it. And if you're wondering why on earth he's doing that in a pan, this is not the pan I'd prefer to do this in. You're a one-man band too, Hibby. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Difficult. This is way too hot. One problem I have with this little gas burner is it comes up very hot on the lowest heat. A couple of questions coming in. So, recipe, favourite thing you fall back on when family and friends come round, go-to winner. Well, there's two answers to that question. There's what I tend to do, but there's also things that are worth trying. So, when I've got people coming round, I will default to doing a roast dinner. I had one this Sunday just gone. It was quite a warm day, but I still did one. A little bit of roast turkey. Turkey is not just for Christmas, you can use them all year round. Roast potatoes, carrots, broccoli, stuffing, pigs in blankets. I had pigs in blankets left over from Christmas in the freezer, and I really wanted to use them up. But what I would say is coming back to a recipe I would do as an easy one when you've got people coming round. There's a recipe I saw Gordon Ramsay do years ago, and I don't recommend a lot of Gordon's recipes. That's nearly ready. I need to chuck something on there in a minute. And you fry some pancetta or bacon if you prefer. Add sliced mushrooms and leeks, again sliced. Cook some pasta, penne is ideal. Tagliatelle would work well as well. And then add creme fraiche to the mushrooms and leeks to make a sauce. Few tablespoons until it's as creamy or as liquidy as you would like. And I think that's an absolutely delicious plate of food that still requires a bit of work. So yeah, Parko, do you have anything that you fall back on? Have I got any salt? It's a great question. My pig, as they're called, has a tiny, you can't quite get the light, but it's got a few big handfuls of salt left. That's why there's another box just behind it, ready to fill it up when I use it all up. I'm always thinking, those last dregs of salt in the salt pot, how old are they? Because they've been in there forever. So you can see there, I don't know if they're coming out on camera, the little flecks of stocky vegetable stuff because we've used a stock pot, because Marco demands we use a stock pot. So we're just making this white sauce. I'm going to add one more ladleful and then I'll chuck my pasta on so they're all ready about the same time. This is where I'm really missing my saucepan with a spout, but it's in the dishwasher. Pasta on. Salt the water, of course. Does it say to do that in the recipe? In boiling salted water. It does say boiling salted water. Good. I like my pasta water very salty. I think it gives you a lot of lovely taste. I've seen your question, Hibby. I'll come to it in just a second. This is Asda pasta, so it's 11 to 13 minutes. That's quite a long time. Right, I'm going to do lots of pasta, so we've got spare. There's a whole 500 gram pack gone in there. So Hibbs, what is my favourite salt to use? Well, as you well know, I'm proudly from Essex, which is where Maldon salt comes from. Any kitchen, any cooking programme you see, you'll see them using Maldon salt because they know what they're doing. There's a stream, an inlet called the Blackwater, about 20 or so miles northeast of me, and they use an ancient panning technique to draw the salt out of it, and that gives it, and the pan that they use gives it the distinctive pyramid flavour that really crunches, and I think it's a delicious salt. Obviously, if I'm just putting pasta water on, I'll just use table salt, free-flowing, cheap table salt. But for that finishing salt, you know, you're going to have a hard time getting me off of Maldon salt. Are there any salts you recommend, Hibby? I've got a few other salts up here. I've actually got Maldon Himalayan Pink. I've got this one, a black lava salt from Hawaii. It looks like ash. The flavour is exactly the same, but it's just interesting, and obviously can really pop on the right dish. Looks really cool. Have you tried the smoked version of Maldon salt? I have. It's not... Yeah, to put it bluntly, yes, I have tried the smoked Maldon salt. It's delicious, really tasty. I've often got some on the go, but you've reminded me that I've run out. So yeah, I've also got the pink salt, because why not, if you've not seen Himalayan salt before. These really jewel-like pieces. Guess I'll eat it. Very floral. Lovely. There's a good company in Anglesey called Haylen, I think it's called Haylenmon. I tell you why, I've worked with them years ago. If you should visit, if you ever go. Maldon's a great option. Don't know if it's from Essex. Yes. Can you visit their site? So the Maldon Sea Salt Company, many years ago I worked the building behind the Maldon Salt Company, and I actually emailed them because I had a semi-relationship with them as a food blogger, but I could not get them to let me walk around the site. They just said no, it's just not suitable for non-employees to walk around. So no, you're not allowed to walk around the site. Haylenmon, yes, those little cardboard tubes they sell their salt in. Very tasty, very tasty. They do one flavoured with vanilla that's very nice, I seem to remember. Whether they still do, I'm going back quite a few years now when I did some work with them. Parker, I'm sorry I missed your message earlier where you said about Wellingtons. Let me see if I can just scroll up and see it. Individual Wellingtons for the family, nice leg of lamb. Individual Wellingtons, yeah, that is a lot of work. It's a lot of fun, but luckily all the work is done way in advance. You can get that all done. Right, let's add a bit more milk now. I'm confident enough to add the rest now. Just give it a little stir. Oh, look at that, just as I finished the pan. Don't know if you can hear that beep. That's my dishwasher saying it's done, and I could have used that milk pan that I like to use. Oh well, never mind. Parker, you love that smoked sea salt with seared ribeye. Yeah, absolutely. With seared meats, any lovely, strong tasting meat. Your beefs, your lambs. Smoked sea salt, perfect, perfect. Double check I'm not missing any messages. So my guinea pigs earlier, did you hear it when it said yes, Marco? Did that play it back to you? I'm interested to know. Let me know in the chat if it spoke to you. .83 double creams, another very precise measurement, which screams we got it from a restaurant recipe and we've multiplied it up. You can buy liquid smoke. Yes, I've seen it occasionally. I have used it before. Less common than it used to be. You have to buy it from specialist shops now, I find, which is a little bit irritating for me. If I could get it through my Tesco shop, I'd probably get it every week. Very nice, obviously, on your briskets, steaks. So I'm just stirring this till it goes thick and creamy. Just using a whisk just to make sure I've got rid of little odds and ends, little lumpy bits. But always an odd question, depending on where you are in the world, e.g. Parco, when I say this, what are you having for dinner today, tonight, yesterday? Tell me about what you're having. Always good to know what you're up to. Wasn't any sound, but text showed up on the screen. Interesting. So over there, where can I point? There. Chat that comes from Twitch goes over there. Weird. Okay, that's a shame. I'll work on that for next stream, because I'd put some quite funny little voice commands in there. Clearly they didn't work. But thank you for the feedback. Good to know. Right, we've got quite a gloopy mixture, but it's missing that coating characteristic that I would prefer. Let's give these bad boys a stir. They're starting to clump. So there, you see it's forming a channel. It's not moving. That tells me it's probably about ready. Obviously you can push it further. Very nice. Okay, what are we doing next? We're adding some cream. Stir in the double cream and mix well. Simmer gently for 2 more minutes. 2, not 3, 2 more minutes. Again, that reeks of a Marco recipe. So it's quite an indulgent macaroni cheese recipe using whole milk and double cream. Everyday macaroni cheese, pasta and cheese sauce recipes, I wouldn't use cream usually. I would use semi-skimmed milk as well. And probably whatever cheese I had knocking about that needed using up. Hips. Wife wants pizza and Caesar salad. Is that a pizza from the freezer? Is she picking one up on the way home? You getting a delivery? What do you have on your pizza? I know you generally favour a vegetarian and vegan diet, don't you, Hibby? So I'd love to know what you have on yours. Let's put your salt away. You're trying to boil over. Let's not let you. Yeah, and if you're just tuning in, I'm just boiling pasta over here. Literally nothing to see here. I'm just going to bring, the temperature up. The cream has just cooled it down enough. Pasta will be another couple of minutes, I think. Nice, very savoury. Just going to get something else. Yep, that's coming along good. So I'm going off recipe now. I did say earlier, if you caught it, it's not really a complete meal. So I'm going to add some broccoli to the water just while that finishes. Oh, this is a really poor quality. It's quite wobbly, it's shaky. Pebble Collector, good to see you again. Thanks, welcome in. Are you on child-minding duty for chat? Are you trying to say, am I a moderator? Yeah, please don't go mad in chat, because it is just me. And it'll take me a couple of minutes to get the band hammer out. Why do you ask? Mainly ingredients from the clearance section. Turned into a tomato-based sausage pappardelle made from lasagna sheets. I think lasagna sheets, I presume you mean the fresh ones, are really underrated as a quick get out of jail for quick dinners like that. Isn't this recipe for kids? Oh, sorry, yes. Such a long time ago I talked about that. Yes, this recipe is for kids. Marco's restaurant chain have released some recipes this August for summer holidays. I thought they might be fun to do. And probably not very taxing either. It's just macaroni cheese. A few little Marco twists. We've added a stock pot because of course we have. He wants me to pass it through a chinoise. I don't think I'm going to do that. Let's just try a bit of pasta. That's good. Crosta Mollica is a great brand. Yeah, the fresh one's nice and easy. Yeah, those fresh pasta sheets, I also look out for when they're on offer or reduced. If my pasta sheet's reduced, I've got too many sieves. Yeah, you find pasta sheets reduced, you are winning, and then slice them up into whatever shape you want. Can't see what I'm doing, I'm just draining off the pasta here. Nothing complicated, but I'm keeping the water because I'm going to simmer some broccoli. I started talking about something else instead. Everything just fell over there, that was good. Let me turn that off for a minute. Ugh. Didn't quite see what happened there, but nobody died, so you know. We'll get that back working in a sec. I'm just in the middle of two things. That was exciting, wasn't it? So yeah, back at the Crosta Mollica, I love their bases. Their pizza bases are excellent. They seem to have come out of nowhere in about 6 years. Just their margarita base is excellent. Anyway, Link Linebeck, good to see you, my friend. Nice to come in. Lidl's Alfredo cheese feast. Pizza is popular tonight. Everyone's having pizza. Get a bit more water on, I think. And simmer that up. I'm going to have fun watching the replay later and seeing exactly what happened there. I probably knocked something with a knife or something like that. Hibby, have you making your own pasta? Have you started doing this? I've done it for years. I think it's only really worth doing long, thin pastas, tagliatelles, lasagna sheets, pappardelles, that sort of thing. Anything a bit more intricate, it's not worth it, but it is good fun. Pebble Collector says I'm having, oh sorry, I missed one. Pebble Collector, I'm having a second round of a curry I made 2 days ago. They just get better. They just get better. Parco, have I eaten at Gordon, Marco's or Heston's restaurants? Yes. Let's work through them in order. So I've been to, oh, Gordon has a Bread Street kitchen in the sort of St Paul's area of London. A friend took me there for a birthday, that was very nice. Good to see you, Link, I'll catch you later on. Hopefully I won't knock anything else over. Marco's restaurant, about last October time, I think. I went to one of his steakhouses, one of the worst experiences in a restaurant I've ever had. Really crap piece of meat, terrible customer service, would not recommend. Heston's, I've never eaten at one of Heston's actual restaurants. Yeah. I don't know how I can say this, but he has cooked for me before. Many years ago, I'm just going to put this water on, I'll be back. Many years ago, I was invited by Waitrose to go to their kitchen, in North London. And he cooked roast lamb and he sat opposite me on the table. There's footage of it. Tiny amount of it still on YouTube. It's for a show they used to have on Sunday mornings, Waitrose TV. It is a dream, and it has been for many years, to eat at the Fat Duck, but the price keeps going up and up. My salary does not. I would love to eat at the Fat Duck, but it's just out of my price range. I just can't justify it. You know, for one person, just eating by themselves, it's at least £250, and that's not including travelling there. It's just really hard to justify that. Really hard. Much I would love to. I had a booking there for a birthday, and that was at the time when they got shut down for 2 weeks because of an outbreak of food poisoning of some sort. So I missed out my opportunity there. I was carrying on talking. I've also chucked in, oh, I forgot we turned that off, didn't we? How's that looking now? I think that's okay. Let's pop him back on. I'm also chucking in some hot dogs, some Happy Hungry Hurters. Just made a mess as well. Tidy up after that. I missed a few comments. Can't beat an aged curry. Yes, you leave a curry alone for a day, 2 days, whether it, you know, doesn't have to be curry, of course, could be bolognese, could be all sorts. And they just get better after a day or two. The flavours all just get chummy, don't they? Don't need that on anymore. Have I watched the BBC documentary on Heston? Essential watch, yes. His battles with ADHD, bipolar, pretty sad watching, particularly him. By the way, if you're not aware, about 18 months ago, Heston Blumenthal was diagnosed with bipolar. It transpires he was on the verge of suicide, essentially, and his wife managed to get him help before he went too far. He doesn't look like himself, and I thought it about 2 years ago. I thought, well, something's not right with him. But yeah, it's not good. But his documentary is on the mend. He recognises what he does, and he does make the occasional media appearance, and he's doing a lot to advocate for bipolar now, which is great, Pebble Collector, yes, that is too pricey, and that's without a drink, I think. The price is in that ballpark anyway. But it was one time rated the best restaurant in the world, so you can charge that price, and they're full up every lunch, every dinner. I bet Marco doesn't throw camera equipment about. He probably did in the 90s. I don't think he would now. Right. Let's check our seasoning on our bechamel, which has gained a little skin because it's sat here for a minute. Nice. Right, I'm going to move everything around so you can see what I'm doing. Made a right mess here. There we go. Right, nice little dish, ready to go in the oven. Let's place that somewhere nice. So it's got a really specific way of doing this. Make the bechamel sauce, add the cooked pasta. Okay, so I can do that, I have the skills, I have the technology. So I'm just adding this pasta into my previously made white sauce. I've actually made slightly too much. I'm going to hold some back for a pasta salad for lunch tomorrow. A little bit of macaroni pasta salad. Parko, thoughts on induction, hot plate, gas. Personally, love gas and out of control. Other people, yeah, induction. So, this kitchen you see, I had made about 4 years ago, and I had that choice to make. You know, do I have gas? Do I have induction? Everyone's raving about induction. I've used induction while I've been on holiday. You know, you stayed in a holiday home. Just because it's slightly odd. It's not the way I would do it, put it this way. Okay, let's add my other ingredients. The problem I find with induction is not all pans work with it. You probably know that. But the other thing with induction is cleaning of it is a bit annoying. And the other thing is the beeping. They love to beep. They absolutely love beeping at you to tell you that there's stuff on them. And it just winds me up, that incessant beeping. It's a silly thing. I've grown up on gas. I like the control of gas. So I'm a gas guy. A lot of people say they're quite inefficient because obviously the heat and the flames go up the sides and you just waste all that, but I like it. Let's toss it in some extra goodies. Put that there. What do you think, Parker? What do you prefer? Pebble, you're really neurotic whisking my bechamel. You're saying I don't need to be. I would just keep the heat low, just keep stirring. If it's still thick, if it's still sort of blobby, don't add any more liquid. Keep going until those lumps are gone and then add the next bit of liquid. Just take your time. Personally, I prefer an all-in-one method where you put all the ingredients in the pan and just start whisking. It takes about 10 minutes and you feel like nothing's happening for about 7 of those minutes, but then boom, it just all comes together. I'm following the recipe as per the boss himself, so it's just how I would do it. We had another. Why haven't you got your slippers on? I only wear slippers in the winter. You can see I've got lovely socks on. There we go, little trainer socks. Pebble, you prefer gas? Yeah. So, as per instructions, I'm going to add a layer of pasta-y stuff. So, you'll notice we've added no cheese so far. We add the cheese now, as layers. Bit odd. Yeah, I throw it all in too. I saw an Italian guy do that. I first saw someone who I'd love to cover on the channel. Nobody would watch the videos. Simon Hopkinson. Anybody know Simon Hopkinson? Absolutely a chef's chef. He's absolutely adored by the chef community because he really knows what he's talking about. Real genius. And he's the first person I ever saw do it. If you see his books, I think it's called Roast Chicken. It's brilliant. Just adding mozzarella there, and then I'm going to add a hard cheese. This happens to be Parmigiano Reggiano, but you know what? It's only macaroni cheese. You add whatever you like. So yeah, Pebble, do it all in one. That's my recommendation. That's how I prefer to do it when no one's watching. Right, that's that. Then we add a bit more. How many layers do you want, Marco? Yes, Marco. Just repeat until it's all in there. Okay. Sit down. As I said, my addition is the broccoli. Is it still on my clipboard? Yeah, if you want to see the OG recipe as per the website, you can go and look at it there. What are you saying about? So new houses in Australia can't connect to the gas network. That's probably inevitable around the world, to be honest. Yeah, I understand. But you know what? We are literally burning stuff away to do that. It's hard to argue with it. So just the last dregs of my pasta there. Nice and wet. It's like banning petrol cars, right? It's got to come eventually. We just can't kid ourselves that it's going to get any better, that situation. Using a lot of cheese here. It's one thing I haven't checked the measurements on, is exactly how much cheese I should be using. I'm just putting on an amount that feels right. So interesting to layer the cheeses in with the stuff here. So if you didn't track what I was doing, a layer of pasta and white sauce, then a layer of cheese, pasta and white sauce, layer of cheese. And now that's going to go in the oven for a bit. So let's get that in the oven. And that will give me an opportunity to tidy up. Hib says good balance with broccoli and sausage. Kids should love this, including my wife. Yeah, I mean obviously substitute in your protein of choice. We just really like those cheap nasty hot dogs in this house. You know what? I can serve up ribeye steak. I like cheap hot dogs as well. Somebody stop me. Don't care. So I'm just going to have a little tidy up while we're waiting for the pasta to sort itself out. Quite often when I do streams like this, I think, oh, there's a big gap there, and I'll do something else. I've chosen not to today. I thought I'd stop, have a chat with you guys. I'm going to need to tidy up as it is, so it gives me an excuse to tidy up while we have a chat. So tell me what's on your mind. I'm going to bag up that as well. You're done, just checking everything's off. Let's get you out the way. Get you in the bin. I can see you've just said something there. Parko, makes sense. I might as well turn this off. Makes sense in other parts of the world, but considering electricity in Oz comes primarily from fossil fuels, it's lose-lose. Yes, not to get into the argument about it, but electricity uses less resource to make to make 1 watt. It takes less resources to get that far. But I'm not a petrochemical engineer, so I don't know. As far as I understand it, it's more efficient to generate electricity than it is just to burn the fuel into gas. That said, I still prefer gas for cooking on. Can't beat it. Parko, those hot dogs are divine. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Herter, Frankfurter. says here, Herta makes a meal happy. Not sponsored, I'm afraid, Pebble. I went down Tesco, there's another brand name for you, and picked them up just before, earlier this afternoon. Just looking for a lid. Stick these in. If I'd have been streaming an hour ago, you would have seen what a mess this counter was, because I've got endless Tupperware under there. I needed a Tupperware sorting solution, so I ordered about 3 different types from Amazon. I don't like any of them. So there we go. It's what rock and roll life it is, making food on YouTube and making decisions like that. Oh dear. I'm enjoying all this noise I'm making. Right, you can go back in the fridge, you can go back in the fridge. What's that? Yeah. Dead end of broccoli. Pebble, what are you having for dinner today? Don't think I heard. I think I missed you when I was asking that earlier. And Pebble, I don't want to dox you, but whereabouts in the world are you from? Country is fine. I don't need any more detail than that, unless you want to. Curry. Oh, yes, curry. Sorry, yes. Spot on, yes. Excuse my memory. You forget who said what sometimes. Up north. Very good. I'm assuming you mean north of the UK. I'm very much east. Right, I need a pot for that as well. Ready for tomorrow. No, the stem. Yes, Parko, I know the stems are great, but I don't have a use for it right now. And I don't know if you heard me say, I didn't think that broccoli was very good quality. It was quite floppy, quite loose, so I didn't fancy it. But you're quite right. I love the broccoli when it's diced into coins. It goes into a stir fry. Nobody knows what it is, but they go, this is nice. It's water chestnut. No, mate, it's broccoli stalk. Really nice blitzed up for a pasta sauce as well. Again, just hiding it from everyone. Pebble Collector says, so that curry was Cuckoo Paka, Indian-inspired Kenyan dish. That's a new one on me. Cuckoo Paka. Was that homemade, I assume? And what makes a Cuckoo Paka? I've never heard of it. It sounds like a bird. Is there a particular spice? I'm just going to put these in the cupboard. I'm back. I wasted so many broccoli stalks back in the day. Like I said, massively underrated. And just while we're chatting, if you're out there in Twitch land, I'd really love to hear from you. Be the first to say something in Twitch tonight. I'm just getting started on Twitch, and one of the things I'm trying to do is just make Twitch work for me. It's no other effort to also do this, so just having a look. Yep, there's humans out there. Very good. I make curry base ahead of time, then make a paste, add chicken and some veg. So is there something that makes, this is a Cuckoo Paka, this is the Cuckoo Paka curry, sorry. You know, what is the special, literal special sauce that makes it Cuckoo Paka? You know, is it the addition of cinnamon or whatever? Smoked nuts ground up to replicate the smoky taste of the chicken since I'm doing it on the stovetop. How bizarre. Parker, you enjoy the stem too, nice and sweet. Just got to peel, yeah, you got to peel it like asparagus, haven't you? Just take off the, and then slice it really fine because it's still still is tough. Dropping all sorts tonight. If you're just tuning in, I'm just waiting for the macaroni cheese to finish baking in the oven. About 10 minutes, I would reckon. Alternatively, this whole stream gets uploaded as soon as it's finished. So you can watch it back. You can watch the exciting bit where the camera fell over. I nearly died. Didn't really. As I said earlier, this is one of Marco's family recipes that his restaurant group have released for this summer. So I don't know what's coming next. If it's doable, I'll do next week's as well. They haven't given us any previews. So yeah, interesting. The spices are fairly typical for an Indian curry. It has coconut milk in it, so kind of South Indian flavours then. I shall look it up. Definitely. Let's get some bowls out, ready to eat in a bit. Is that a Joseph heat mat? Oh, good question. Where did I get this from? Yes, it is. Joseph. Good eye. Spotted well, Hibby. Someone who likes his kitchen gadgets. They're just... Joseph stuff is so good. It's pricey, but it's good stuff. There's broccoli bits all over this counter. All over it. Let's have a little peek over it. Got some nice melty, just starting to colour, so not too long. I think I'm going to reposition my camera so you can have a look at that while it cooks. That'll also give me the advantage of not having to then look myself. My tripod's not quite tall enough. I can't be bothered. I'll sort that out another time. Rani left it a bit late to make steaks for dinner. What are you doing now? So I'm just waiting for my macaroni cheese to finish baking. So it's going to be about 5 or so minutes, I would have thought, while we have a little chat. Hibby, I saw that you'd released a review of the Ninja Creamy. It's on my to-watch list, which is quite long at the moment. There's lots of good stuff out there to watch. Do you want to give a couple of word review, like a thumbs up, thumbs down, whether you like the Ninja Creamy? Parko, favourite kitchen gadget? I mean, you can do cliche things and say, oh, well, you can't beat a good knife. But a true gadget, I love the Sage, or it would be Breville in your part of the world, Kitchen Whiz Pro, a food processor. It's an absolute beast, a workhorse of a machine, chops, dices, grates, and it just makes so many jobs easier. I used it just at the weekend to make some scones, just put all the flour and milk, just whizzed it all up, and it was dead easy. Cornelius S, who's winning gang? Well, hopefully me when I'm eating in a minute. Pebble, could you explain to me how I can find how a portable gas stove works? I'm moving to an apartment that only has electric. Oh, sure. Well, I can show you how mine works. I don't know if that's true of all of them. Move that out of the way. Pebble, I was in Asda last week, and they're clearing out their camping gear for the back-to-school stuff. You might be a bit late. I'm really sorry to do this to you. They sold one like this for £4. £4. I paid 11 for this, which is not a lot of money, and it's a bit naff and a bit cheap, but I just couldn't justify buying anything else. Let me switch the other camera on so you can see what's going on. The death cam. There we go. So let me. So you've got controls on the front there. just ignition and then on. And this one comes with, well, you get butane cans. These are really, really easily available on Amazon or camping stores or larger supermarkets this time of year. Now people are camping. So that just, you can use them for all sorts of things. I also use them for a blowtorch that I have. You'll sometimes see me use in the kitchen. But these come in like packs of 3 or 5. They're very, very cheap. That just goes in there. I engage it. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. And just turns on like that. Simple. If you're moving to an apartment, just watch out for ventilation. If you're using gas, you really need to keep that place well ventilated when using one of these. So please be careful. That was on wrong all along. Yeah, it comes in a little plastic briefcase, so it just slides away out of sight. Very handy for this. I'm actually looking at an electric plug-in one because it's just a bit more convenient for filming is the only reason. Hibby, now we're talking, you love the Sage brand. I love Sage brand. I've been a Sage stan for years. They make great gear. I mean, you can see their coffee machine just over there. You can see their toaster here, which I'm not as impressed by. But their ice cream machine is fantastic. Yeah, lots of great stuff they make. And Pebble, I hope that made sense. I gave you a shout at the end of my video, that kind of thing. Excellent. Always good to see it. Thank you, Hibby. Cornelius, is Marco Pierre White our guy? Well, he's not my guy. He's interesting, but oh, we don't need that anymore, do we? He's a character, that's for sure. I think somebody mentioned in a live before, would you like to meet him? And I think I concluded, no, I wouldn't like to meet him, because he's very brittle. He's so mercurial. You don't know what he's going to do or say. And I think it would end up being a bit weird, because he is a bit strange. Somebody. I just bought my first stand mixer by Salter. A bit disappointed the sides and bottom ingredients get missed. Is that common with all stand mixers? It's common with some brands. I like Salter. It's a brand I've worked with in the past, long dim and distant past. I've got gear knocking about that's from working with them. E.g., just the first one that comes to mind is a jug that if we pop that on, is when they were working with Heston. It's a measuring jug with scales built in, so you can do 2 for 1. Clever little piece of kit. Never took off. The sides and the bits of the mixer, for a lot of brands that is a thing. You've just got to get down there with the scraper every now and then, just push it all down. It's a thing. The very, very, very top end KitchenAids and that, you probably won't have to do that with, but the majority of brands you will have to. Right, I know there's been a bit of chat, so I'm just going to have to work back through that, excuse me. Hibby, you referenced my review of the Sage ice cream maker. It's my favourite, it's my favourite. Andrew Graham, thank you for popping in the chat. I know you pop in from time to time. And in the comments, Marco's take on a hot pot. I see no reason why not. Is that a Knorr recipe? I think it is, isn't it? Might be a good one for live, perhaps as the weather turns a bit cooler. So maybe in a couple of months, well, a few weeks. In a couple of months' time, maybe a hot pot would be a good idea. Pebble, don't meet your heroes. I've got mixed reviews on that. Thankfully, Marco isn't my hero. As I've said earlier in this stream, I have met Heston and was thoroughly impressed. Hibby, oh, you're a big fan of Which, aren't you? The consumer expert guys. Yeah. Daniel E, good to see you. Welcome in. I presume it's early afternoon for you where you are. Maestro just released MPW's lentil and fried cod recipe on YouTube. Future live stream. Yes. I think I did put that up to a vote and people didn't, they didn't vote for that in the end. I was going to do that. I didn't do it in the end. They appear to be putting everything from Maestro on YouTube now. They're also getting quite aggressive on the copyright claims. I've taken a few things down because they're on the hunt at the moment. Pebble, I believe it's a lentil stream. Interesting. Marco's got me wanting to do a dish with them. Yeah, as I say, there is one on the Maestro cookery course for lentils and cod. And it's a great combination. Yes, it's a Knorr recipe, the hot pot. Yeah, we'll get to those. We'll add them to the list. We'll get them all done. Let me check on the oven. Do you know what? It's totally done. It's got a lovely golden brown colour. I was trying to show you earlier, but everything broke. I have got an idea. Hang on. Ooh. I'm going to switch cameras over to the oven. Just a touch more, just a couple of minutes, so it's nearly there. So I think in a couple of minutes we'll pull that out. We'll taste it as well, obviously, and see how that is. We just plug everything back up, ready for the plating. That should do. Pebble collector, there's no question that it's cooked and it's done. I just want a tiny bit more colour because I really like it. Like that. Horses for courses and all that. I like it really. Lovely bit of colour on top, so you get that contrast of crunch and soft. Wife alert, better get the pizza in. Enjoy the Crosta Mollica. Hibby, good to see you. Probably takes a couple of minutes. Cook. Drink watch, those of you that were here last week. Still on the Polish apple and cherry juice. It's so tasty, it's really good. Really, really good. So, let's add those to the list. Excuse me. The cod with lentils and the hot pot. As I said, I'm going to try out some of these family recipes that they're releasing every week. If you've missed it earlier, I shall just... ooh. Oh, I don't know where that's coming from. That's weird. Oh, Pebble Collector. My Nightbot has banned you. I don't know why it's done that. I can only apologise. Sorry. I'm going to do everything I can to get you back. Hold on a minute. I'm really sorry, I don't know how it's done that. I'm just going to click around. Wonder if I can stop it. Let's turn that off first of all. Turn that off. Rogue AI, yes, you're quite right. I'm just seeing how I can unban you. I'm so sorry. I don't know what, as you say, that bot's done it. Oh, I feel really bad that it's done that. You can see his comments again. Oh, hello Pebble. I'm so sorry. I don't know how it did that. You're dead. No, you're back. You're back with us. I'm so sorry about that. I was going to say, I'm a one-man band. I get these tools to try and help me. I didn't know it was going to do that. It's because you put, for everyone else's, you put wife alert in in caps. It didn't like an all caps message. How bizarre. Anyway, sorry again. Sorry again. Right, let's get that out there. Let's give it enough time to brown. I saw another comment come back as well. Who was that? Hey, you mate, it's Brew. Richard Bale. Brew? iron brew. There we go. That's what I really wanted, that lovely even. Let's pop him on so you can see what's going on. Let's move that over there. You can have a good look at it. Hibby's wife banned me for being cheeky. There you go. It's just anti-northern sentiment, I think, I'm afraid. There you go. You can have a good look at that while it sizzles. There we go. What's the green stuff? You make it sound like it's poisonous. It's broccoli. It's not in the original recipe, but I really wanted to add some greens to it to make it a bit more balanced. So we were talking about finishing salts earlier. Let's add a little bit of Maldon salt to ours. This is dinner for the family. Let's get rid of that for a minute. So I'm going to serve up some portions, go and deliver that, and then we can come back and we can taste it all together. Let me get a nice big serving spoon. Here we go, nice crisp on the top. Oh, you've gone off. Why have you gone off? Back on you go. There we go, he's come back. Not that camera. Why are you doing that camera? Do the back. Professional this is. You didn't want to see up my nostrils, did you? Yeah, nice crispy on the top. That's exactly what I wanted. Bit of extra colour. Boom, plenty of cheese, Paul. You'd love to see it. You'd love to see it. He's going to go missing. Big, hearty plateful over there. I think I've had an internet blip. I think that's what it is, because I've had another piece of software just have a little paddy. You know, your internet just blips off for a quarter of a second. Good call on the broccoli. I think so. I mean, it's lovely having pure luxury, but I just think that green just helps you enjoy the rich part, whether you like broccoli or not. I think the addition of that irony green flavour, you don't feel so guilty. And the crowd goes wild. Indeed. Right, I am going to mute you for just a second, guys, while I take this off into another room. And I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm just going to mute you while I take these dishes into another room, and we'll come back and taste it all together. So give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Yes, Indeed, Nightbot with its huge anti-northern sentiment. I shall be having words. I shall introduce it to whippets and flat caps later, don't worry, Pebble. Right, let's get a bit up for me. Whew. Gosh. Let's get a good shot of that so you can really see what's going on. So there it is, Marco Pierre White's macaroni cheese. I've added hot dogs and broccoli because I wanted to lower the tone a bit. I'm just going to tiny bit of parsley. Because it does actually say on the recipe, add parsley and gravy, yes. Not gravy, I'm not adding gravy to this, but yes. Oh, there we go. Excellent, let's just have a quick whip round all the stats thing. Check that's all working, good. So yeah, I shall be having words with Nightbot a bit later, or to be more accurate, fiddling with the settings to make sure it doesn't do that again. Not even sure how it unbanned you, to be honest. I pressed a button to say don't ban people for all caps in the future, and yeah. Secret stash of parsley. Yeah, got to have your own secret stash of parsley, haven't you? Thank you, Parko, yes. Hey, it's macaroni cheese. Pasta, white sauce, cheese. I think it could take a bit more cheese, actually. So let's do that. Bit more hard cheese on the top. I'll sort this out. Yeah, lovely. Everyone's got it in for Nightbot. Well, there you go. It's a. You can probably taste it, if you know what I mean, right? I'm sure you've all had pasta in a cheese sauce before. That's exactly what it is. And should you want to, if you haven't seen it already, that's the original recipe I'm basing it off. So if you want to do it yourself, you can do. Very good. Well, I think I should go and eat this now, unless there's any other questions people want to ask. Anything else going on that we want to check in? I will add cod and lentils and hot pot to the to-do list, and I'm going to try and live stream more regularly. I don't know what night, because it depends what else is going on in the world, so I can't say, oh, I'll be here every Wednesday night. It'll be whenever. But I love that most of you have come back from seeing you again. It's great to have a chat with the community. Good to see you guys out there. So thank you very much. I'm going to go and eat that. Sorry, I'm thinking at the same time. I don't do this very well, thinking and doing. I'm just logging on to my stream manager in Twitch. There we go. Yes, thank you, Rani. Thank you, Pebble. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you for chatting. Let's turn that off for a minute. For those of you that are watching on Twitch, there haven't been many of you chatting, but that's fine. I'm going to attempt to raid. For those of you that aren't on Twitch, don't worry about it. I'm going to attempt to raid because Twitch keeps telling me to do it. So I'm going to press the raid button, which means it's going to send our Twitch viewers over to there. Those on YouTube, it's just going to finish. But I will say thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Those on Twitch, let's raid over to someone that isn't just a cafe. Or not.
I'm going to stop it there. See you guys. Bye.